Most people assume leadership fails because of weakness, corruption, or lack of ability. But the Bible shows another reason leaders collapse: the fear of people, the desire to keep everyone happy, the pressure to maintain approval. One of the clearest examples is King Saul. Saul was Israel's first king, chosen by God, given authority, given opportunity. Yet, he lost everything. And when the prophet Samuel confronted him, Saul admitted something striking. I feared the people and obeyed their voice. In other words, Saul didn't lose the kingdom because he lacked power. He lost it because he cared too much about what people thought. When Saul first appears in the Bible, in 1 Samuel 9, he looks like the perfect candidate for leadership. He was tall, impressive, respected. The Bible even says he stood a head taller than everyone else. Externally, he looked like a king. But early in the story, there is a small detail that hints at something deeper. When Saul was first chosen as king, he was found hiding among the baggage. Even before leadership began, insecurity was present. And insecurity often creates a deep need for approval. In 1 Samuel 15, God gives Saul a very clear instruction. He was commanded to completely destroy the Amalekites, including their livestock. It was not vague, it was not symbolic, it was direct. But Saul did something different. He kept the best sheep and cattle alive, and he spared King Agag. When Samuel confronted him, Saul tried to explain. He said the animals were saved for sacrifice. At first, Saul framed it as something religious. But Samuel saw through the explanation. Eventually, Saul admitted the real reason. I feared the people and obeyed their voice. This is the turning point of the story. Saul didn't disobey because he misunderstood. He disobeyed because he feared losing the people's support. The soldiers wanted to keep the livestock. The people wanted the spoils of war. And Saul chose approval over obedience. This is where the story becomes very modern. The pressure Saul felt is the same pressure many people feel today. The pressure to be liked. The pressure to maintain approval. The pressure to keep everyone satisfied. Public opinion can become a powerful force. It slowly reshapes decisions. Convictions become flexible. Truth becomes negotiable. And over time, leadership becomes driven by popularity instead of principle. Samuel responded with one of the most powerful statements in the Old Testament. Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15:22. Saul believed religious activity could compensate for disobedience, but Samuel made it clear. God wasn't looking for impressive gestures. God was looking for obedience. The story of Saul reveals something uncomfortable about human nature. People don't always abandon truth because they stop believing it. Sometimes they abandon it because they fear losing approval. Saul had power. Saul had influence. Saul had opportunity. But he allowed the voice of the crowd to become louder than the voice of God. And that decision cost him his kingdom. The story leaves us with a question that still matters today. Whose voice shapes your decisions the most? Because when the fear of people becomes stronger than the fear of God, even the strongest positions can begin to fall.